Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, from now on they're all banned from the hotel property. The second story, I was fired because I refused to do an illegal act for my boss. It took a few months to win unemployment, but I finally did it with my boss admitted to firing me wrongly. The third story, I left an SH-paid job and took the whole team with me. The company lost 20 projects and is begging us to come back, but screw them. The first story is, the party is now over. I've been a member of Team Vampire, aka Night Auditor, for almost 13 years now. Holy crap, has it been that long? Anyways, in that time I've never had to evict a guest. I've come close a few times, and there were certainly a few who got the boot the next morning, but I pride myself on being able to get things resolved without that. Tonight, gentle readers, we shall speak of the time that I almost threw out an entire sports team. Our story begins the day before. I was braving the hateful rays of the Daystar, Hiss, in order to pick up my paycheck. While at the hotel, I noted that a large tour bus had parked in our lot. Chatting with my coworker, I found that a sticknet team from the Potato State University had indeed checked in. Heading home, I noticed members of said team returning to the hotel, their arms laden with booze from the local Quickie Mart. Would that I had realized what this might portend. Side note, the state with the potatoes is a hard alcohol only at state stores kind of place. The state our story is located in is not, with vodka available at grocery stores, which has surprised and delighted some guests. In any case, I returned that evening from my usual gig of farting around, with some paperwork and breakfast I guess. My departing coworker mentioned that the team had been a bit rowdy, but was quiet now, which she presumed meant they had gone to sleep. Oh, how wrong she was. I have settled in, dealt with a couple of check-ins and finished my tacos, when I hear a loud splash from the pool in the back. Our posted pool hours are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and absolutely no jumping or diving. So needless to say, I'm a little perturbed when I head to the pool area. Some members of the team are cavorting about like drunken idiots. They haven't brought any swimwear, and are diving into the pool in their underwear. Glass beer bottles are in hand, also a major no-no for a pool area. I try to explain that they are being too loud, and that and then one of the guys looks right at me, before diving into the pool. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, fine. Let the customer service mask slip a little. The pool is closed. There is no diving. There are no glass bottles. It is late. They are making noise. The pool is closed. Insincere apologies are mumbled. I go back to the desk and settle back in for the night. After about 10 minutes, I realize that the revelers haven't come through the lobby yet. Sure enough, when I go to the pool, I find that they've moved to the hot tub. Are you seriously kidding me right now? Teeth gritted in a rictus approximation of a customer service smile, I inform them that wait, are you idiots skinny dipping? Really? No. No. Back to your rooms now. Yes, now. More insincere grumbling. Bees grab towels to cover up, but don't dry off, leaving the lobby a wet mess, as they sullenly trudge through to the elevator. Whatever, dealt with. Time to do the audit. I go through the nightly paperwork, and have just hit the Make Tomorrow Happen button when the phone rings. Noise complaint. Yep, it's those goobers again. I call the room. It takes 3 tries until they pick up. The music is very loud, even over the phone. Once they are convinced to turn it down to the point that civilized conversation may be had, I inform them that I've been getting complaints about the noise, and they need to be quiet. This is seriously harshing my zen. Not 10 minutes later, another noise complaint. This one is from 3 doors down. Crap, time for the personal visit. I head up the elevator. Their party room is at the end of the hall, about 100 feet from the elevator. I can hear the music as I step out. Okay then. I knock on the door. The music is stopped, and there's the shh that one gets with those who realize that they are in trouble, but are too hammered to realize that they're not fooling anyone. Who is it? This is Squirrel, with the front desk. May I speak with you a moment? At this point, I've also noticed a distinct green smell coming through the door. Recently legalized, but this is a non-smoking hotel. The security latch is fumbled open, and one of the occupants pops their head out. What can I do for you? The mask has slipped some more. I'm angry and these kids need to know it. You were asked to turn down the music. Now I'm telling you to turn down the music. I've received multiple complaints. It is nearly 2 in the morning. People are trying to sleep. You need to be quiet and go to bed, okay? Yeah, okay. I nod, he retreats, and I head back to the elevator. Still fuming, but satisfied. After all, college is a time of newfound freedom and experiences, and they probably had no idea. As I'm pressing the button for the elevator, the loud music comes back. My mood shifts from annoyed grumbling to incandescent rage. Really? Really? No, this is not how we do this. I go back to the room and pound on the door. The customer service mask is gone. If they're not going to respect my being polite, then they can deal with what lurks beneath the calm waters. It should be noted at this time that I've done some theater stuff. Mostly Gilbert and Sullivan, but point is, I know how to project when I need to. Comes in handy for the, oh look, the door is opening. Time for me to invoke the spirit of R. Lee Ermey. May he rest in peace. The party is now over. It is 2 in the morning and people are trying to sleep. You will be quiet and you will go to bed, because if you are not, I will not hesitate to throw your entire team out of my hotel. Is that understood? Okay? Apologetic mumble. Good. If I get any complaints at all for the rest of the night, I will be back here with the cops to throw you out. All of you. And I know for a fact that all the hotels within 20 miles of here are booked solid. Good night. With the door open this time, I could see the room better. Full rockstar mode. Furniture was askewed. Curtains pulled down. Beer and liquor bottles everywhere. Not that much weed smell. They must not have been able to afford very much of it, but it was there. Surprised the television survived. I took a deep breath and headed back to the front desk, writing up a lengthy incident report for my manager, who is almost certainly going to have to deal with this mess in the morning. But the kids were quiet. Peace returned to the land of lacking tea. I was a bit grouchy the rest of the night. It's hard putting the mask back on after such a thing. Probably for the best I didn't see any other guests until I left. Aftermath. We had to comp the 2 complaining rooms. No surprise there. The team got to pay for that, of course. The party room's damages were in excess of $500, not counting the smoking fee. My manager pointedly informed the coach that not only were they no longer staying with us, but that the Potato State men's sticknet team was henceforth banned from our property. Hell, I just love how professional and long you held on. They were bugging me in the hot tub as much as they could. I would have thrown them out the door with all their stuff. What childish idiots. The manager should definitely take it up with the assistant principal at Potato State. The players represent the school, and the coach was supposed to watch these players and keep them in line. But since the coach wasn't doing his job, his boss should know the image this team is giving the school. And I also doubt very much that the coach was surprised that he was banned. How many out-of-town trips does the varsity team make? Surely many. This can't be the first time it's happened. It would be nice if this team was put on probation until the end of the year, or disbanded altogether. The second story is, I was fired because I refused to do an illegal act. I was hired by this employer/owner to do various installations. The main installation that was his bread and butter was to mount a TV against a wall for a customer in their home. However, most people don't like the power cord of the TV to hang and have to stretch to the bottom of the wall. It doesn't look good with the cord hanging out. Part of our services was to install an electrical outlet behind the TV, so the cord would be hidden. When I first started, my employer reassured me that it was okay to install an outlet because it was so simple of a job. I figured that if he was doing it, then it was okay to do it for him. After a couple months installing outlets, I thought maybe a career as an electrician would be interesting for me. I started researching. Lo and behold, I found out that I was not permitted to be installing anything electrical unless I had the required permit or was doing it underneath the supervision of a master electrician. I certainly didn't have a license. My coworker didn't, and my boss didn't either. The fine in my state ranges from $2,000 to $5,000 per outlet installed. I knew this wasn't going to end pretty, and I definitely needed the money because my wife was pregnant at the time. However, I decided, after consulting my wife, that the best way to move forward was to be honest and set the boundary with my boss. I texted him about the problem and he responded, "There's nothing we can do about it," and practically dismissed my concern. Finally, I told him I would no longer be installing outlets for him starting the next day. At the end of my day, he fired me via email, stating it was because I disagreed and refused to work. Long story short, and if you want the fine details, let me know, the following happened. He realized he messed up after I sent a scathing email back to him, telling him it was wrongful termination. He hadn't been paying unemployment insurance and admitted it. He asked to meet with me to find a solution. I decided to act in good faith and show up for the meeting. It was just him and his sister threatening me, trying to twist my arm to not apply for unemployment, and there were some heinous things said in that meeting to me. 3. I did file for unemployment and was denied because my boss lied to the Unemployment Commission that I was fired for misconduct. I'm in an at-will state, but there are clear laws to protect you in the event of refusing to do something illegal. 4. I contacted the regulation board that oversees electricians. They were appalled and immediately conducted an investigation into my former employer. Their findings were that yes, he was engaging in acts that were illegal, and was told to stop or there would be further punishment. I had to wait 2 months later for a hearing with a hearing officer over my unemployment appeal. In that appeal, the hearing officer interrogated my former boss, and amazingly, my boss admitted that he was doing something illegal, and fired me because I refused to do that specific illegal act. That enabled me to have unemployment for the past 2 months of waiting. I fought through depression and the birth of my child with no money in the bank account. I'm still hurting from doing the right thing. In my gut, I knew it was the right thing to do, but I wasn't ready for the distrust I had towards any employer in the future. But I hope my story helps you to know that there is hope. You can win, and you can hold the boundary with your boss. It may take time for justice to wield its hammer, but it will happen. D, man, you did good. I'm glad you won. I read a similar story once. There, a dude got fired for refusing to comply with unethical requirements at one company. They made him feel like crap for refusing, and his boss was smiling in the room when they fired him. It was depressing as hell. 11 months later, he moved across the country, and then his coworker comes up and says, "Hey, you worked at Company X, right? They're in the news." Turns out they were under investigation, and dude's refusal to submit to an unethical procedure made them find out about it. The article didn't mention him specifically, but it did mention someone who had recently been fired for refusing to participate in evidence tampering. And the last story is, I quit. My team left as well. My company is begging. Know your worth. I worked at a development company and initially managed 5 projects for $85K. PA, due to initial COVID, I was too afraid to ask for a raise and didn't want to annoy management. How stupid of me. 1.5 years later, I was managing 20 projects with a team of 5 for the same pay. In the last review, I demanded a raise for double to meet market standards, and for all the work done. Management said they'll think about it and kept dragging their feet. Senior managers kept saying that they're getting a review, and their bosses are not allowing it. The usual excuses. I applied for a new role, and landed $160K in writing to start in 2 weeks, and said if I knew others to join, they're happy to take them on. I bravely informed my immediate team of 5, and told them I was leaving and can take some of them if they're not happy here. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and the company's senior manager called me within the hour and asked how much. I said double my pay as I told my manager. He said no chance, we'll find someone else. 2 weeks later, I've left, and all 5 of my team got interviewed, accepted a role, and put in their notice one by one. All 20 projects, as I understand, are on stalemate, and it's costing the company hundreds and thousands monthly for delay costs. The company has since messaged myself and my team individually begging us to come back, no matter the salary. All have said no, and it feels amazing to leave and also know our value. It just shows the company doesn't care about you. They want to keep your low salary to achieve the best outcome for them. Within my first review of the new company, they've increased my pay by an extra $20K. This is so alien to me because of the neglect I had in my previous company. Once you applied, I would respond to your management that it was too late for salary negotiations. You already brought it up, they weren't interested, and now you've negotiated elsewhere. And now you're not going to say no because now they've decided to come around. That would be very cool. Just imagine that taste of victory. But even so, the finale is still awesome. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.